Hi, and welcome to the first edition of Aspire's Ask the Expert session, IoT edition. My name is Cody Harris. I'm the Director of Digital Architectures. With me today is Kyle Turk.
Hi, I'm Kyle Turk, Technical Solutions Architect.
And also with us is Keith Heckle.
Hi, I'm Keith Heckle, Pre-sale Solutions Engineer.
So today we're going to talk about a product that has some really cool applications in the IoT world. That is Cybervision. So Kyle, what's Cybervision?
Cybervision is a security platform that's been acquired through Cisco. They bought another company. This company developed a platform that takes data on your network, scans your network, and builds heuristics around that using artificial intelligence. It can determine what kind of baseline your network is based on traffic and traffic patterns. So it lends itself very highly, in this case, to an IoT sense, where machines are talking to machines and a lot of automation happens. So you have very repetitive network queues, right? This traffic goes here every day. I send you video every day at this time. So it can take that information. It can check with Talos. It can check with current CVEs on certain platforms for certain devices. It can tell you what you have. It can tell you what's going on, and it can help you protect your network with all that data.
Interesting. Now, I often think of it as like a Stealth Watch Cloud for IoT. Keith, is that? Would you agree with that? Am I close?
It's somewhat close, but ideally what it does is it's analyzing the data and it's spitting it back out and it's checking for specific patterns, like Kyle alluded to earlier. So it notices that this device is only going to a specific device from where it's trying to send traffic, and it's analyzing that. And if it's doing anything different or out of the norm, it's going to flag.
So it's looking at anomalous behavior, and if it sees anomalous behavior, what does it do? Does it throw an alert? Does it give you feedback on how it thinks you should operate or react?
So the great thing about Cisco, their products, especially security, is most of their products have this cool ability to integrate with each other. So you can take Stealth Watch, you can take Cybervision, and have it talk to other things that control access to the network, like ICE. ICE can then integrate with REST APIs and quarantine certain objects in emergency state in an automated fashion. And that functionality is there, and it works today.
That's cool. So takes it a step beyond just telling you what to do, and it can actually go and operate and make the changes on your behalf.
Heal your network.
That's cool. Would you say it's the case that oftentimes within the OT environment, the OT network, it's, people don't have eyes on glass 24/7. They're not OT guys. Me personally, I think of OT guys as being quite different from IT guys, and therefore maybe they're not as interested in the tech from a day-to-day perspective, right? So I can see this being super applicable because it kind of takes that load off their mind of what's going on in the network. Are we secure? Right. And if there's an incident, how am I going to react? It seems like this would really help them out.
And I think most people don't have the time on an OT level.
Sure.
They're dealing with thousands of other things. Why do they need to worry about their network security?
Right.
So why can't we, Aspire, come in, create policies around this, install everything, and just let it work for you?
Yeah.
The key about the OT environment, though, I think that we should key in on is that technology in some of these OT environments has been long-lived and is a lot longer lived than a traditional IT environment. We tend to see that you have older machines controlling older PLC circuits and older sensors, running Windows XP, OS2 Warp, and these things are still in there because they work.
Right.
They're solid.
Right.
So the evolution of technology and learning on that side of the house tends to suffer because of that fact that these things work so well over a long period of time that there's no need to consider these more advanced technologies. But at the end of the day, that is kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because if you don't know about the latest tech and the latest security vulnerabilities, then you're completely in the dark. And I think that things like this should be at least explored and understood to that level.
Awesome. So let's say that I'm somebody in the C-suite of a manufacturing company, right? I'm not an IT guy. I'm not an OT guy. Ultimately, I'm a guy that's looking at this from a business perspective. What's the value proposition I'm going to realize if I add Cybervision to my network?
I think first and foremost, the most important thing to understand is it's insurance against you getting attacked, right?
Staying out of the news, right?
And these days, I think that you can either have you can either go out and buy ransomware insurance from an insurance firm and not have any active role in your security, or you could buy a product that protects you and gives you a little bit added benefit, so you don't have to make that ransomware call to an insurance agent. So first and foremost, it's protection against you and your business and the devices that you paid to do a job, right?
Right.
So it's like putting a lock on your house. I'm not saying you have to put a lock on your house, but I think most people understand that there are some things that you can benefit by investing in security. But also, there are other added benefits from a business perspective is, do you know what you have? Do you want to be able to, invest, know when those devices have been deprecated and get them back out of your network? Which also applies to the security in that sense too, that if you know what you have on your network, then you definitely are taking a look at your security and understanding what you have. And those, for me, I think are the two biggest.
Another would be, where are your devices talking to? Because most of the time you may not even know. They could be reaching out to a separate country and you may not even know about it.
Sure.
So you actually retain this data from Cybervision.
Well, it's an interesting point because as you alluded to earlier, a lot of OT networks have a lot of old devices. They've been there for a long time. They're there because they work, right? But are they secure? Are they susceptible? Are they vulnerable? The business may not even know that they have this old device in there, right? That's a really good point. Where are the specific use cases that we're seeing Cybervision applied effectively within the OT and IT environments?
I mean, it's anywhere that you have an automated system. I mean, and these automated systems are popping up around us everywhere, and they're integrated in all facets of life, from smart cities to water treatment plants to K through 12, higher education. All verticals will be touched by IoT. So this is something that will benefit those organizations and ensure that the water we drink and the schools that we attend are safe, clean, and good for the environment.
Yeah, good point. In a typical deployment, right, with Cybervision, what are the pieces and components that would go into a solution? How does it all kind of feed into Cybervision, and what's the benefit of Cybervision within that solution?
Yeah, so your typical city will have multiple sensors deployed throughout the whole area, whether that be on a router, switch, server, wherever you may need it, we can deploy Cybervision on. It basically sits on a Docker engine on top of the actual server or device itself, and we can run it there locally.
Right.
So it's not using any processing backup at your HQ. These can be connected various different ways, whether it be fiber, cellular for backup, whatever, or primary. And basically what we're doing is we're going to be collecting data at the edge of where we're deploying it, whether it be intersection, wastewater plant, warehouse, wherever it may be. We can start collecting data, sending it back to our main server where it can then be reevaluated and assessed.
Knowing that Cybervision is very applicable to a city environment, what would the solution look like? What would the deployment look like in a typical city situation?
Yeah, so your typical city will have, at least the way I would envision it, would be multiple sensors dispersed throughout the whole area, right? So you would want to have them at your smart intersections, wastewater treatment plants, warehouses, really wherever you need it. And ideally, you would have a main server at a hub where you can then bring all this data back. Those sensors could be connected via, say, fiber, cellular, 4G, 5G for backup or primary, whatever it may be. And then we'll have all that data sent back to your HQ where all the heuristics can be done at the server.
Okay. And with that concludes our topic for today. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. It was a very informative discussion. Look out for future sessions where we will be discussing other IoT platforms.